Texas A&M and Auburn face off this weekend, Joe. The last game that we'll do in this preview, but A&M coming off of a bad loss against South Carolina. Auburn, well, they've come off a lot of bad losses this year. Joe, how do you see this one playing out?
Auburn continues to be one of the most bizarre teams if
Without
you don't look at their schedule and you just look at their numbers and how they've performed. Jarquez Hunter is an 1,000-yard rusher with 7 yards per carry that he's averaging. Keandre Lambert-Smith has been in the SEC. Keandre Lambert-Smith has been a steady receiving option with almost 800 yards and 8 touchdowns. They have been efficient on offense, efficient on defense, productive. Their defensive line has stepped up and held opposing rushing attacks to pretty good success, only allowing 104.5 rush yards per game. But outside of all of that, they've killed themselves with penalties. They've killed themselves with turnovers. I say all this to say Texas A&M should win this football game, but this is a situation where if Texas A&M, we say there's a lot of matchups like this. If you don't come in fully locked in and seeing this as an opportunity to correct your miscues since South Carolina and to get yourself mentally prepared for Texas, and if you come into this matchup looking ahead to Texas, you will lose this football game. Auburn is one of the most, I don't want to call them underrated. That would be a very ridiculous way to phrase them. They have been in most of the games that they've played if it wasn't for shooting themselves in the foot. So if they play their best game, you could lose this football game, but I don't think that's going to come to fruition. I think Texas A&M rolls them.
So look, here's the thing that I would say about Auburn right now, to your point, in this game versus A&M.
Mm-hmm.
I look at Auburn and the games that they lost. Okay, they got beat by Georgia. They fumbled the bag against Mizzou. Okay, then they fumbled the bag against Vandy. The problem that I always have with Auburn is I feel like every single week I watch their film, I watch their games, and I'm like, dude, they're getting some really good yardage on the ground here. Hunter's going off.
Yeah.
Dude, is that a really good throw by Peyton Thorne? Like, it's the reason why they're 30th in the country in passing yards. I mean, like, yeah. I'm like, holy shit. All right, it's Peyton Thorne's coming out party. Here we go. And then all of a sudden, Joe, in a blink of an eye, their next 2 drives, they throw an interception, they fumble the football, they line up off sides, they fumble, they PP down their leg. That's the reason why this game over at BetOnline's at 2.5 and where this game's being played. Now, I tell you this every year, and I think that this is the one. Joe, this game's being played in Auburn, Alabama, and I never ever care where Auburn is as a program. There's always one game per year that out of nowhere, out of the slumbers.
This is actually a good point.
Of the ashes, that Auburn at night, the blue and orange pom-poms are waving around. And all I keep thinking is, oh my God, Auburn's going to upset a top 15 team. It changes this year because they're not going to be able to stop turning the ball over, and Auburn's going to lose. I don't trust them. I don't trust this coaching staff. I don't trust this quarterback. Joe, you better run the ball 45 times to win this one. And I don't know if you can this week over what's probably going to be a really pissed off Texas A&M team who's trying to get back from nationally getting embarrassed by South Carolina. Now, they rolled last week. They played New Mexico State. They beat them 38-3. It was a nothing burger.
Yeah.
But I felt the pissed offness last week for A&M. What I do think here is I do think Auburn's going to keep this one close. I do think that they're going to find a way to keep the turnovers down. But, man, I just can't trust what this Hugh Freeze-built Auburn team is right now. I know that it happens every year with Auburn. They're going to upset somebody or keep it close. Oh, man, this is just not the Auburn I know, Joe. It isn't. It legitimately isn't. So for that being said, I'm gonna roll with A&M to win here. I'm gonna pick them to cover because it's only a 2.5 point spread. Joe, I'm really interested to see how Marcel Reed continues to blossom and grow here. He's got 9 interceptions to 2 turnovers. Joe, his running ability is starting to become a little bit better since the second half of South Carolina. I just can't pick against this really physical football team in A&M.
BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.